Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestler Review. Still feels weird to say that. My name's Dylan Gott. That's John Hastings.
Hello, everyone. My countdown clock that we use on Riverside paused at 4, and then I just heard Dylan, and then it froze. And I have never felt more awkward in my entire life to just hear review. I feel weird saying that still. And I was like, what? All right, let's go. Sorry, guys. I should be more prepared, like a military man for this
There you
episode.
go. John, in accordance with the episode topic today, is doing this from a bunker
I guess I am in the
in the
full.
Shah's Iran in the 80s. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Sergeant Slaughter, but just
Woo!
his weird run where he got fat and then they said, you know what? We need a heel and we need him to be a backstage guy. Let's fucking get out here.
I'm going to totally disagree with you, Dylan. Sergeant Slaughter in this run proves that black is not always slimming. As it turns out, what makes this man look svelte is a khaki trouser. He shows up at WrestleMania 7 looking, I'm going to say it, high and tight. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Bobby Remus was the star.
What's his real name?
Robert Rudolph Remus.
Triple R.
Triple R, baby.
You're gonna hit me with some of that triple R shit.
Oh my God, they really missed a trick not doing a Sergeant Slaughter Triple H China love triangle in the early days of the Attitude Era. Do you remember?
Take it like a maggot.
Yeah. Oh my God. She treats me like a puke now, Paul.
Puke on my cock, Paul. Puke. You're a puke.
Hey, Paul.
Some of them are really good though. The Warrior promo, I had that written down. The Warrior promo. Your hours are no longer hours. Your minutes are longer minutes. Now you're counting down your seconds. It's a really good line. Is it like crazy and cartoonish? But he's good at being intimidating. And then having a guy who just basically saying, I've heard this on another thing, who's basically saying, praise Allah, I love Allah. That's all he's saying. And people are like, this piece of shit. How
Oh,
dare you praise your God, you fuck.
I got to tell you this. If you look at the business that was happening in the WWF at this moment, like they were spiraling a little bit because the Ultimate Warrior didn't work out. Like people forget, like people are like, oh, maybe the Ultimate Warrior was a bit bad. It was like, no, their houses were way down. They went from selling out to no longer selling out. And Sergeant Slaughter, credit to this weird man from Minnesota. I don't know what the fuck's in the water in Minnesota where it's like, here's what I want to be good at. Tough guy and acting. But this guy spiked ratings like a motherfucker. Like I don't know what it is. I know exactly what it is. No one loves booing people from other countries more than the American wrestling fan in the 90s. Like, where are you from? Cross the street. This is a Doug Stanhope bit now, but fuck across the street. We're the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, also, didn't this angle outlast the war by quite a bit?
Of course, Dylan. Yeah, because
The war was like 3 weeks.
those
Sorry.
pussies in Iraq gave up, and Sergeant Slaughter doesn't fucking give up.
Yeah, once it started, Hulk Hogan's going to finish off everyone who even has been to Iraq on vacation.
Do you think um, do you think that Vince McMahon didn't know there was a war? He was just making up a country and it lined up with Iraq. In the desert. They talk not like Russian. I don't know. Rat Stan, and they're like, "That's close to Iraq, Vince." And he's like, "That's a place." You know what I'm saying?
I think that Vince was like, the next big story, we're going to jump on it. And they're actually kind of lucky that it was a war because it could have just been like the Menendez twins.
Oh
And then
no!
he would have just been like, all right, these guys. So here's the heel. It's the dad.
Holy
Fucks his son on the TV. And
Dylan,
then,
Dylan,
okay,
I got
fucking his son, right? And
you're
we're going full P.
Dylan. You're doing a bit. That is true. If I draw your attention to WrestleMania 12's backlot brawl, they just do the OJ chase. They literally just show footage of the OJ
Yeah.
chase again.
Every so often, Vince McMahon's just like, he probably had it like he probably had like a chart that was like, okay, it's been long enough that we just completely cribbed something from the news. Let's just do that, and then he does it.
I disagree. What I think it is it's when he comes across a USA Today is when the news is introduced. In the same way that like everyone got very nervous when he finally saw the movie The Dark Knight, where they were just like, "Oh fuck, now." someone's going to be really
They did
serious
have
for a
15
bit.
Jokers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Edge Joker. They still should have done Sting Joker. I still think that was a regretful.
And then his downfall led to him learning about the Harvey Weinstein case. He's like, I can do that, but you can't do there.
Oh no!
That was the downfall of him as the CEO of the company
Yeah,
or whatever.
Stephanie always regrets buying that Ronan Farrow book and Vince coming across it. What's this?
Dude, one time I had a joke. Well, I have to change the joke because of stage because it's too rickety raw. But one time I went into I was working out and I was listening to the Ronan Farrow thing on
Audiobook?
speaker.
What?
Yeah, I was listening to the podcast
Where were you
that
working
he
out?
has about. Pardon me. I was doing bench, listening to the Ronan Farrow thing, and then it was a testimony from one of the victims. And as my father-in-law walked in to smoke a joint, and literally the first thing he heard was, "I woke up and realized Bill Cosby had raped me." And then he went, "What the hell are you listening to it here?" And I was like, "Fair. That's fair." Also, it's like a guy doing bench, like, "This is why we do it."
Oh, buddy, if people...
What pumps me up? Hearing victims.
Yeah.
You listen to Hatebreed? Yeah. I listen to fucking people that just got away from the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski. That's what fucking
Yeah, you might listen to Hatebreed. I listen to the people that the people in Hatebreed are pretending to be inspired by. Richard the Iceman Kuklinski.
I mean, once you get to that, by the way, Kuklinski, I mean, it is crazy. I don't know if you guys have heard of Richard Kuklinski, but apparently what he would do is he would just basically beat the shit out of people and then poison them and just kind of see how long which poisons took to make them die and then use that in his professional life.
The other thing is he lied about a bunch of killings. That's the other thing that they've now discovered. Yeah. That's the other thing that's very fun.
Oh my god, this murderer is also a liar? That's the worst sin.
I love how people... brings me to something that... Right back to Sergeant Slaughter. Oh my god, I walked us back. Thing that Sergeant Slaughter
don't need to.
I want to, though. Get ready for this.
No more segues this time. Segues are a waste of time. Just be like, yeah, Kuklinski anyway, Sergeant Slaughter, because then we've kind of linked them in people's minds, which is fun, too.
They do look very similar. Like, they could be brothers. Like, Sergeant Slaughter could pay... And weirdly, Sergeant Slaughter would be the hot one. And that's a rare...
No,
set
he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Don't fucking lie.
I'm not lying. Okay, you have to be missionary between either Richie Rudolph Remus... or Richie K. Which one are you letting missionary you? I'm taking the
Slaughter.
No, Slaughter, of course.
Beat me and kill me.
You don't know that. You don't know that. First of all, you don't know that. He might. You.
So how long are their dicks where they're missionarying our butts?
I would say both small penises. We're gonna have to do a lot of yoga maneuvering.
You want to think that?
Yeah, I do want to think that. I mean, actually,
you know what I mean. Every time it's like that guy's a dick. He has small. That guy's an asshole. He has a small dick. It's like sometimes you got a big honker and you're a bad person.
Yeah, no, you're right. I could actually see Richard Kuklinski having like one of those penises that's like it's big but it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those ones where you're like, oh.
It's like him. He's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Someone was saying that about someone slept with a basketball player and they said it was small for how tall he was.
Shaq. Well, this is the famous thing about Shaq is that Shaq's penis is only normal, so on his body it looks really small, and this is common knowledge among NBA players, which is why people are kind of fine being like, "Yo, Shaq, fuck you." Like that's and that's
you have a 7-inch dick. That's disgusting on your body.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You can have sex with regular women? You should be ashamed of yourself. It's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, that's why
you should have a dick like insert guy here where no one can have fun.
That's why the Kobe Shaq feud is so much fun, because basically Kobe has that in his back pocket at all times, and thanks to Shaquille O'Neal tampering with the controls of a helicopter, Kobe was never able to play that card.
Also, it's really difficult to take Kobe's side when you know little things like one time after they won the NBA title, Shaq came over to Phil Jackson's house and broke their trampoline by trampolining on it too hard with his kids. He was like shooting his kids in the air. He's like, "Hey Shaq, can you stop killing you're gonna fucking kill my kids?" And Shaq was like, "Okay, sorry." And then he went, "Okay, one big one." And then he went on his butt and it just snapped. And he went, "Uh-oh." You're gonna take Kobe's side?
No.
They were having a team meeting one time, and Kobe was like, "I'm going to eat over here because I'm the Black Mamba." And everyone's like, "Oh, God, look at fucking Taz over there. Believe in the game."
I mean...
Feed me the spaghetti. No fork. I'm a Mamba. Giving mice because I'm a mamba.
Yeah. The Mamba works hard. That's why he's the scariest animal in Africa.
Oh, wait.
He's going to
Wait,
outwork
do I
you.
have to use my real mouse?
Yeah. Something else you should
Shaq's
know
just
about
like,
the Mamba.
when do we get a trampoline?
Don't leave me with ladies, or I'll get off because I'll get a big legal team. Mamba.
I understand what I did was wrong, but I still don't think it was rape. That was his official thing. His official thing was he had to
Was that what it was?
He, in the statement, had to. His official thing was he gave her a bunch of money, and then he, in a statement, had to say, "I don't think what I did was assault, but I now realized that basically it was." And then he got no jail time because he's on the LA Lakers, and that's what happens when you're like a big part of the tourism industry.
Yeah. It's also, no one
If
understands.
the CN Tower committed sexual assault, we'd be like, I don't know what to tell you, man. The CN Tower is going to get away with this one.
This is the thing that people don't understand about LA sports teams is that you've hit it absolutely correct. The LA Lakers are LA's CN Tower. Like, there's just like,
Dude, it's awesome.
can you?
Even going to a Clippers game was great.
Oh my God, the Clippers, and now the Clippers have the craziest stadium in the entire world. Self-serve soda. They got self-serve soda at the stadium, Dylan. Dylan, prepare your family to have to move to the Intuit Dome. They have finally built a building for you.
There are like so many toilets too, which is the like most boring but most exciting for an old person.
It's also
check it out. It's not going to smell. If it smells like piss, that's because it'll be your piss because you're old.
It's also so funny that it's taken them this long to figure out that's what people want in a stadium. Like, they've put hot tubs in. One of the NFL stadiums has fish running through it, and finally one guy's like, "I'm going to put enough toilets in this place where people piss and shit a lot," and everyone's like, "Fucking da 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 da." Speaking of other people achieving, Sergeant Slaughter returned to the he returned to the WWF.
Can I return to that idea for a second?
Of course.
It'd be sick if there was one billionaire who was like really like jacking off. Like, and everyone's like, what? He's like, forget us. We are pretty close to the fact of billionaire just being really open about his sexual proclivities, where it's like, and we have a sex swing. Why? Because I own trucking.
Because I own the fucking Ottawa Senators, and so there's a sex swing directly above that weird screen that hangs over the ice. I'm not saying that I'm going to use the sex swing during games, but you will see it, and you will know that I have used the sex swing.
You'll know that I've fucked my wife in the sex swing.
In the same way, Dylan
only gets to fuck me when she's in the swing.
Dylan,
she doesn't like
Dylan, stop interrupting me. I'm coming to you from the former Yugoslavia. I will not be interrupted.
Yeah. John looks like he's directly underneath me. Why don't we just go in the same room?
Yeah. No. First of all, because I'm not wearing trousers, and I demand to do the rest of the review while placing my camera and laptop on a barrel that contains gunpowder. Yeah, which Dylan keeps in his house with his family. I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh, it was such a good riff too.
All right, okay.
Don't talk about Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter comes back. He was an agent during this time, right? I'm relying on you for this.
He absolutely was not. So he basically he left the WWF because G.I. Joe was like, "You want to be a G.I. Joe?" And Vince McMahon was like, "We do." And Sergeant Slaughter, Sergeant Slaughter was
I
like,
want that money. No.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was like the only wrestler in the '80s that was like, "Oh no, I'll just do it myself." And Vince, it was basically, I assume, what it's like when a bank robber shoots Superman. And Vince was like, "What the fuck? That you left?" And so Sergeant Slaughter, as by the way, is a amazing wrestler. I've completely slept on how good of a wrestler Sergeant Slaughter was. So he just went to the AWA.
He fucking does it. But this was so this is according to Wikipedia. I apologize, but he sends a letter to Vince McMahon, basically like, "Please let me back." They do. His heel angle actually is good. It makes sense because it's him turning on the fans for accepting Nikolai Volkov.
And they should have done that. That I thought would have been because that also could have been a much more long-term heel gimmick. But what happens is Vince realizes, he's got this giant star of AWA and NWA. So it's the other thing that never is brought up is he's this babyface.
G.I. Joe. He's on the fucking...
Yeah, he's
on
fucking
G.I.
Joe. And the guy that basically kept Vern Gagne's company alive. Well, Vern was like, we didn't invest in a new ring. Real men don't fight in the ring. It's just a house. You fight in my house. Yeah. You're just coming over to my house and hanging out with me.
It's me, Vern. I think after all these years and all this near bankruptcy, I think I know what the people want, and that's why I have a sex swing installed in the
Yeah.
whatever arena.
I've been talking to some of my
Greg's gonna put me in the sex swing and
million.
really pound my
I gotta
pooter
tell you,
until he
we
wins the title.
we really missed out on Vern Gagne getting dementia, because if Vern Gagne was mentally copacetic, he would have gotten into QAnon, and that would have made some of the best shoot interviews you've ever fucking seen. And I'll tell you who Vince McMahon's in bed with: the Freemasons. And you're just like, fuck yeah, Vern. He's still old school. Doesn't
How many
say
sex swings
globalists.
does he have
Yeah,
installed?
Vince doesn't
Yeah,
use
oh yeah.
Vince doesn't use a swing for sex. That's because his ejaculate only stays in the lower part of the woman's vagina. My ejaculate goes all the way to the top. Best eggs there. That's why Greg lost his hair at 18. That's how much of a man he is. I also shaved his head while he was sleeping.
So Sergeant Slaughter turns on him in the invasion of the Kuwait. He joins
Iraq.
General Adnan, who personally knew Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, he joined General Adnan, who they imply knows Saddam Hussein and was in no way.
He did literally go to school with Saddam Hussein. He was.
Is that?
You would get
I
paid
don't
money.
think that is real. I think that's wrestling nonsense.
No, it's not.
Do you also think that the Iron Sheik was the Sheik of Iran's bodyguard, Dylan?
What?
Did you?
These are the only two good castings in the history of professional wrestling. Everyone else is. Nikolai Volkov is literally coming to the ring being like, I'm not from Russia.
Dylan.
It's a Russian bastard.
Dylan.
Versus.
I want you to know something.
Okay.
Stardust was not actually made of stardust, and gold dust is
No,
not
you're right.
actually an Academy Award statue.
Um,
Yokozuna.
this was reported by
from
podcasts that are far better than us.
Name one podcast that's better than us. I'll wait.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So,
Thank you.
Adnan flees Iraq because Saddam. There's the thing, I guess, when Saddam's going to kill you, it's kind of like a snake. He just kind of like, when like people gradually stop hanging out with you, and that could be, that saying where you're either your friends for a lifetime, a reason, or a season.
Yeah, you
He
attempted
was
that
friends with him for a reason.
You attempted to break up our friendship with John and Dylan online, but luckily I was able to resurrect it, which is why the show is back.
But so basically, he's like, "Oh, Saddam didn't go to lunch with me twice. My entire family will be killed." And then he leaves for the States, and then good for him.
He joins the
WWF,
yeah.
and this is another really fun thing where later in life, as General Adnan gets farther and farther away from this gimmick, in shoot interviews, he starts being like, "But some of the stuff Saddam did was pretty cool. You got to admit."
I mean, I still
Not to admit. I mean,
I'm pretty sure General Adnan was an Italian guy that Vince McMahon just told, these are pajamas, and then shoved him into the arena. I don't think that he ever knew Saddam. I think you're wrong. I think you're a wrong man.
I mean, this is not from me. This is from Behind the Bastards, and also his book, and also the pictures he has with Saddam Hussein.
I mean, I believe all of those
But
things.
they went to school together. Adnan was a guy who they came in, and here's the weird thing: it was always this weird balancing act. Adnan said because he was the dude who would just win the Iraqi world title, and Saddam also, this is very key, didn't know wrestling was fake.
Yeah. I mean,
so
that's
General
true.
Adnan had to fucking basically be like, "Hey, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose in this way, or you're going to be." I think Saddam ordered them to. I forget what wrestler it was, but he ordered them to put the guns on Andre the Giant.
No,
And
none
then
of this
basically
happened.
Adnan in the ring was like, "See what happens when you don't sell for me?" And then Andre. It's like,
I want you all to know what you're partaking in is a War of the Worlds as directed by Orson Welles style con, and I will not be a part of it. Dylan is
okay, good.
he's a liar, and his pants are on fire. Show us your fire pants, Dylan, you lying fire pant wearing son of a bitch.
I can do nothing to prove this. Anyway, so he starts in with General Adnan, who does the classic thing where back when your heel promo could just be speaking in another language.
Can I
could
talk?
literally be like latte, latte. barbecue sauce. People be like, I don't like what he's saying.
First of all, nothing warmed my heart more than to see Jeffrey Dahmer's best friend, Mean Gene Okerlund, just staring at the camera. Did you notice that they have to zoom in on General Adnan? Because Gene Okerlund, unlike every other wrestler that he looks at, when he's speaking to General Adnan, he does this. Like he's disgusted. Ew. What are you doing with your mouth? Those aren't... You're using letters, but those aren't words that we use here. Adnan. Also, can we talk about, in the run-up to Sergeant Slaughter's sort of first match as a turncoat and all this, what did Jesse the Body Ventura want them to do? He wanted them to burn an American flag because it had just been declared legal, so you could legally burn an American flag. And never in the world have I ever felt more sympathy for Bruce Pritchard than knowing that Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura were calling him a lot to be like, what else can we burn with the flag that's on fire? And the only thing that stopped it was Sergeant Slaughter finally went, no, we can't. I'll be killed if we do that. It'll be so bad. And really, that would have just been a meme that's been used so much in the last 3 years if they had done it.
Yeah, I mean, well, also that he burned a Hulkamania flag, which is honestly more important.
That was the compromise. Is he burned a Hulkamania flag, and that would have been the American flag if they were going to do that.
Fucking good.
That's crazy. They would have done the American flag
burning
because it's on Saturday.
We talked a lot. We got to talk about the matches now because we only have now 34 minutes.
I understand. Don't worry. I'm keeping an eye on the time. So match number 1 of our 3-match review is at the Royal Rumble. It's Sergeant Slaughter challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship title of the WWF. And his versus Ultimate Warrior. This match rules.
One of the best. Yeah, here's what I like about this match. Can I tell you what I like about this match?
The bear hug? Is it the bear hug? Was it the 3-minute bear hug? Because I love the bear hug. All I want is bear hugs.
First of all, watch this match on what?
Daily Motion.
1.5 speed.
Whoa.
No, on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Netflix now.
No, not for me. I still have to have a Peacock membership like a cuck just to watch. Yeah, that's right.
Really?
I'm disappointed in myself as well.
This is like the only way Canadian media has ever been better than American media. I'm excited. But here's my favorite thing, is that the entire reason, and this should be a lesson for everyone out there, honestly, the entire reason that the Ultimate Warrior loses this title is because he won't get sucked off by Sherry Martel.
I completely
and then
agree.
Randy Savage gets so angry at that, he assaults him more than once. And I really like that character of like, wait a minute, the polyamorous guy who's fucking pissed you won't fuck his wife?
It's the greatest. It is the wild.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you want to dig in her clam?
What is also amazing about this is my favorite ever use of a foreign object is Randy Savage picking up a lighting stand with a light and just placing it on the Ultimate Warrior and running away is just fantastic. This is the best use of a heel interfering in a match I've ever seen, and he also interferes so many times. I love how strong it keeps the Warrior. I love that, like that's what I was saying when I was watching, like a lot of these old matches I watch on sped up because it's like, oh yeah,
it makes it palatable. The Randy Savage, and there's certain things, and there's 2 of them. I think we're doing an episode coming up on holy shit, down on Darso. Or no, what? We've already done that one?
We have already done that
one.
When
we did our episode on Barry Darso.
Very good.
When we did our episode on Barry Darso, there was another one that fucked me up where Bobby Heenan slapped Darso during a tag match, and it was like, it came off so fast. I was like, holy shit. And then Randy Savage running was also like so fast. Oh. Compared to like, it seemed like these guys were literally moving at a normal pace when they were on 1.5 speed, and then I slowed it back down, and I was like, holy shit, this is like me going to the fridge to get milk, and I'm on the way debating if I'm going to have milk or like chocolate protein shake or something.
It's what's insane specifically about Randy Savage's run is here's how all the interference goes, and it's so good, which is because the Ultimate Warrior refuses mouth treats from one Sherry Martel.
That's He gets on her knees and he's like, no, and then Sav just like,
Not only
what the fuck?
not only she get on her knees, she gets on her knees and delivers give Macho King a world title shot to his penis, because it's the Macho King, which is
Yeah.
I think the most slept on version of the Macho Man, which is it's the beginning of the best Macho Man ring gear. Very bright colors, nonsensical use of checked patterns, and oh, yes, he's got a jacket. Oh, fuck it. The Macho Man must have been infuriating to be the accountant of. Just a paranoid man who doesn't know where his money is, even though he's got a closet filled with gold coats. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with that, man? Anyway, this match is a triumph. It is Sergeant Slaughter is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen in my entire life. He literally carries the Ultimate Warrior through a disaster of a match if the Ultimate Warrior was in charge. They have the longest bear hug in the world that somehow gets a pop when the Ultimate Warrior doesn't even break it. He just touches Sergeant Slaughter on the neck. Macho Man has to interfere 2 separate times to get him to win. And then I truly believe the match ends phenomenally because it just ends with Macho Man smoking Ultimate Warrior with an actual scepter, and then Ultimate Warrior gets pinned.
Smoking him. And what I
Oh.
really like about it is you make up, and this is something that wrestling is missing now, is that first of all, every heel just brings a weapon that's plausible that they would need as part of their character.
Yeah.
You know, this guy does the roof. That's why I have an X-Acto knife. You know,
Why no one has stolen arrogance? But the model Rick Martel had the greatest interference gimmick ever, which is the fucking cologne. Like, why the fuck hasn't someone just been like, oh,
Yeah.
where's my humidifier? Why the fuck is that? Why?
yeah, guy who has a cough all the time. I got a humidifier.
It's very dry in here. Do you expect me to wrestle? Oh my god! If you just were,
Boo.
if you were just,
It's not dry, you son of a bitch.
if you literally just were a guy who's, I'm gluten free and I require a humidifier in the ring to wrestle, biggest heel in the company, biggest heel in the world.
That's good. I mean, gluten-free guy. Everyone hates that. I wonder if there was like in the 50s there was like actually there was all these really successful heels who had polio, so you had to like have a special ramp and people fucking hated
Well, here's
it.
the thing that no one remembers about Sputnik Monroe, the wrestler that integrated black and white in Memphis. He was a bad guy. That's how they did it. Do you want to be?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, oh yeah. The black people loved him because they were also heels.
Yeah, they were
Um,
the NWO of the 50s.
Classic WWF is Slaughter's walking down to the ring. That says this doesn't reflect what we think about Arabs, but the only ones we have on television are evil. Like they don't even have.
This
It's
is
not like they have like 4 Arab Americans who are good, and then it's like General Adnan. It's like we shipped in a real one, and he is evil to the core.
what is so interesting.
Um,
Also about that is I think that indicates where the controversy was actually taking place, and that like they maintained that up to WrestleMania 7 he was still getting death threats. I think they were getting it initially, and they were having to legally protect themselves around the Royal Rumble, and then it died down, so Vince then wanted to use it to promote. But Sergeant Slaughter becomes the WWF champion. This is the best Hogan monster slaying of all the Hogan monster slayings. We're segueing to match 2. I know you said no segues in the show, Dylan, but fuck you. We're doing segues. I'm
no, I
segueing.
got a couple more things to say. They
Pardon me.
they ripped the flag.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Oh, so, also, this is the first of 2 flag rip spots. I would like you
Yes.
to rank the flag rips. This one, I think, is the superior flag rip. It's more fun. Also, Ultimate Warrior can't get it going right away for a second, which is always fun because he's a panicky Pete. He really gets worried, and he gets really thrown by the stick being still attached to it at the bottom, so he doesn't know how to throw it. It's really fun. Ultimate Warrior is very fun to watch because you're just like, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing, and he's the champ.
Yeah, it's a good adrenaline dump. I really like when Sergeant Slaughter breaks the count after Macho Man hits him with the lighting rig. And the way he breaks the count is, since it's not modern wrestling, he's literally, I mean, he is the greatest wrestler of all time, Sergeant Slaughter. But he is too fat to do the thing where you roll out of the ring and roll back in. So he just kind of goes, hey, ref, stop it. And the ref's like, all right. That's how he breaks the count. Because I was like, oh, he's breaking the count. He's probably rolling again. But literally, if you watch him in the ring, he's like, knock it off. And the ref's like, that means I have to start again?
Yeah, well, here's the thing you have to remember. Sergeant Slaughter's real gimmick is guy who teaches shop at high school but has not got a teaching certificate. Like, he,
My uncle is the principal, so I get to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you near all these saws? Because I want to know that blood could be spilled, but doesn't get spilled. That's scarier than being a murderer. Blood.
Okay, rank 1 to 10. How definite would the Ultimate Warrior have a job in Trump's cabinet if he was still alive?
Oh,
I'm gonna
don't.
put 11.
I. You understand that he would be in that text thread, like that they when they released the Houthi
Oh
war
yeah.
plan, there would have been UW, and he would have just been sending an MP3 of his own theme music. Down, 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 down.
Have you ever seen the show Barry?
I've watched the first. I watched the first 2 seasons and then never got back to it. Go ahead.
There's this really funny. Well, this ruins an entire season of Barry. So if you do not want, if you want to watch Barry but you haven't
No,
gotten
no,
around
no,
to
no,
it
no,
yet,
no,
don't
no,
do
no.
this.
Spoil it. Spoil it. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck
There's
you.
a super funny scene where these guys he teams up with these two other assassins, and then Bill Hader Barry is like, "Hey, we probably don't want. We want to like, you know, be quiet and then slowly move in so we can catch them by surprise." And then the guy goes, "Fuck that. We got the biggest fucking guns." So they literally come up, try and roll up on these guys in a jeep, blasting cowboys from hell, and just immediately get shot to shit. That's what the Ultimate Warrior would do. You just see
Down. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
headshot, death.
Well, this is the interesting thing about everyone with that energy is that like in the end Ultimate Warrior is taking steroids so he can tell himself he's a tough guy, but like exactly to your point, he like Ultimate Warrior would blast his theme music and have a sleeveless trench coat and would run directly into a blade. That's what's so satisfying about the Ultimate Warrior, and that's what's so fun about this match is it's really like it's the only time all the negatives of the Ultimate Warrior are turned into positives because all that Sergeant Slaughter does is bump for him a bunch, hits him with a bunch of forearms, and then just stop counting. That's all he does, and it's so intriguing. Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually not referee interference if you just tell me no. He's like, there's one point he's like exhausted. He just fucking slaps him, and I'm like, that's a DQ. This is in the
Oh,
90s.
it's also there's a whole part. There's a whole part in this match and in the WrestleMania 7 Hulk Hogan match we cover in a second where how Sergeant Slaughter hits Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan with a chair is in front of the referee, but it's on the floor, so the announcers are just like, I guess the ref missed it. Like it's just like I can see him looking like he.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right. I like the way the announcers would do it now, where they're like, "This is they always go like, yes, these are the rules, but this is a title
Yeah.
match, so the ref's not going to let it be on a DQ because that is like they kind of use the analogy of like this is like playoff sports, like they get away with more." Anyway, next up,
WrestleMania
the
7.
event that was sold out so much they moved to a smaller venue,
Correct.
and then I guess those other 50,000 people just found tickets to something else
They
and
didn't
were
want
fine
to.
with it.
They were not patriotic enough, Dylan. They didn't love freedom enough to attend because this was. You
Yeah.
understood if Sergeant Slaughter retained the WWF title in this match, Saddam Hussein then got Kuwait back, as I understand the rules.
I think that this is going to be dope when they do this exact gimmick with Canada
I mean,
in 3
I
months.
cannot fucking. I want that American Canada war so badly just to see who's right. Dylan, who thinks Canada will lose immediately, or John, who thinks Canada will eventually lose?
It would be really bad, and I would hate it. How does that sound?
Oh, oh yeah. Dylan would hate to be under siege. You would fucking be so pissed off. Just yell.
No, I'd actually love it. Imagine I got defensive. I'd actually love to be under siege. So take that back.
Actually, no. I would really.
I would fucking.
I'd like the
Here's
attention.
here's how the war would start. All of the soldiers are having a nice cake. I jump out, bikini, kill them all.
That's how the war ends too. The war.
I'd combine McBain with the movie Under Siege, where that chick
Yeah.
jumps out with her huge tit.
Yeah, Dylan would basically Inglorious Bastards the Trump cabinet, but he's being the girl that shows her tits in Under Siege.
Yeah, no, it'd probably be like Sherry Martel. Really,
Yeah.
I'd be on my knees
Try-
asking them to fuck me, and if they didn't, I'd hit them with a lighting rig. I'd be Macho King and Sherry. I'm gonna hit you with a fucking lighting rig if you don't.
There's something
suck
about
my dick.
hitting someone with a lighting rig that really shows your level of anger.
Because what it seems like? It seems like you super ready to film a porn with your wife, and then that someone didn't want to do it. You just spike That should have been Val Venus's character. Someone
Holy
doesn't want to fuck
shit!
his wife, and then he fucking smokes them with a dildo
I
or
can't
something.
believe it.
It's like you can't have that. He's such a floppy
I
dildo. He's
just
like, you
found
can't bring that to the ring.
I just
He's like,
found a
what?
way. You could have elevated the Val Venus character of just one time. One lady was like, "Actually, I don't want to have sex with you," and he literally just loses all of his confidence for like a year. He only wears black trunks. He barely tries. Oh, it would have been so fun.
Loves taxes now.
He
Anyway,
loves Texas now.
title lost. Here's my favorite thing about Hulk Hogan. Most people, when they go bald and they keep all their hair, it like is messy. He has like perfectly straightened, beautiful back of the head hair with nothing on top.
This is I subjected my wife to this match. She was just
Yes, that's crazy.
sat on the sofa, and I sprung it upon her. And
Good.
and she made the great point for someone who has, I think, never watched any wrestling ever, which is, wow,
They always make the best points.
wow. So you're telling me Hulk Hogan has always looked as old as Hulk Hogan is now? And I said, that's correct, dear.
Yeah, his skin isn't as leathery, but yes.
I then looked at a photo of him. No, she nailed it. Like it's like bang on, because you're looking at him in 1991, and all it is his tan is deeper, and then you look at him now and he just has more neck veins. It's wild. It's also
Here's my
crazy.
favorite
This
thing.
match is crazy because Marla Maples comes out. Trump is in the front row.
Marla Maples comes out and everyone's like, "Ooh, I'd like to smell that suit."
Oh my
Like they
god!
go from
Do you,
this is a PG show.
Bobby Heenan literally is
fuck.
just, what do you like? What do I need to do to impress Marla? What do I gotta do? What do I need to do? Like, he's just,
Yeah.
and also Regis Philbin joins them on commentary. There is nobody worse at wrestling commentary than a celebrity, because they're all not taking it seriously. You're being snide and
I thought Regis for the time was taking it seriously.
yeah, he was.
Well, the Hulk's really in there. Like it's like that.
Yeah, he's not 100% sure who people are. Like, he keeps calling Gorilla Monsoon Monkey Boy, and he keeps calling Bobby the Brain Heenan Mike the Mind. Okay, Mikey Mind.
All right, Mike the Mind. There's some really good stuff in here, like when Bobby Heenan invites Regis to the championship after party, and Regis says, "I can't make it, but Kathleen come." He's like, and he just goes, "We're full."
This, I
And
mean,
he's like, yeah, Kathleen can't come, but Red Grange can come." And he goes, "Who's Red Grange? She's married to Red Grange, isn't she? But she was married to Frank Gifford," which is just basically like just slap in the face.
I was just,
He's got a lot of like good zingers.
oh yeah, Bobby. Well, here's the thing. Like, Bobby the Brain Heenan is a very funny guy. Like, Bobby the Brain Heenan could have done stand up if he had started stand up, but he instead went into wrestling. Like, you could see he has that
And made more money.
way more money, and like smoked way more cigarettes than even a comedian, which is, let's say this now, impressive. I love this match. This match.
I
is
love the
so
weapons
fun.
all have a purpose.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yes, they do all have a purpose. I was just going to say that this match, again, much like the Ultimate Warrior match, is all Sergeant Slaughter making everything that's bad about Hulk Hogan good. Like, Hulk Hogan is so is like, just beats the shit out of him for the first 10 minutes. It's so funny, where it's like every other Monster versus Hogan match, the Monster rules it for 13 minutes. Hogan rallies at the end, leg drop, Hogan must pose. In this case, completely reversed on the head, and it's, of course, he's a turncoat, so they just have Hulk Hogan in an American flag bandana beat the fuck out of a 9/11 perpetrator 10 years before that tragic day.
Yeah, which you can link it. You can link
Yes.
Slaughter to 9/11.
Specifically, if you then listen to Ultimate Warrior's promo 1 year before at WrestleMania 6, where he describes taking over an airplane and flying the airplane directly into the Sky Dome to kill Hulk Hogan, predicting 9/11. What I'm trying to say is, if you take enough TRT, you can time becomes a flat surface and you see everything. That's why we need to start listening to RFK Jr. I'm trying to get us a new audience, Dylan. We're pivoting Maha. We're going like Nicole Arbor.
What's that? Make America homo again?
Healthy again, you homo.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking fucking. Anyway, Slaughter's bumping his ass off. Like, he does a bunch of, once again, and he's doing them in the Iron Sheik boots. I was like, this is fucking wicked. This is like when JTG would wrestle in Tim's. This is very impressive.
Oh my god. The entire match is absolutely spectacular. What's also crazy is basically no interference from General Adnan. I noticed this is a very interesting thing of it's the only time a heel manager is there and he's not Bobby the Brain Heenaning it up. You know what I mean? Like slapping him, like trying to make a bet with him, trying to get him to buy some stuff that Bobby the Brain clearly stole from that wrestler's bag. I got your wallet. Give me $10. You know what I mean? Like,
If you guys ever want to see something like this, you can pretty much go to any hockey rink at 7 a.m. and this looks like two dads who suck fighting over a call that neither of them are right
yeah,
about.
this is they're not their games for their kids haven't even started. They're trying to resolve a discussion involving the 1993 Stanley Cup match involving the Detroit Red Wings. Like oh Jesus, just let's go.
Yeah, no. Hulk Hogan whipped out a photo of his garage gym, and Slaughter got angry that people thought that was better than his garage gym, so now they're fighting
Yeah.
before the game starts.
Slaughter interpreted something that Hogan's wife put in the neighborhood group chat as mocking his man cave, and he will not be disrespected in that manner. And now it's time to tussle near the fucking above ground pool. Let's fucking go. Also, I'm going to say it again. Slaughter's khakis in this fucking match make the fucking thing. He looks svelte. He looks good. Who's this leader of men? I am actually now pro Saddam Hussein.
You know what I picked up on too that was weird? Never before or since have I seen a guy wear a t-shirt under a singlet.
I had to confess this. When I first saw this match as a kid and I saw that look, you know what I thought?
Sick.
Fuck, that looks cool. I thought it looked so cool. I thought it was...
Hey, the colors all work. He has red.
Thank you.
He has he has black camo and then the red with a pop of color, as people say.
Absolutely. A splash of color. Just a little... Show a little of your personality.
Soupçon?
A soupçon. A dash. Not too much. Just a pinch.
All right, so then he loses, Slaughter does, and America wins. Also, it shows that Hogan just starts cheating.
Yep.
The end of the match is he's kicking the fucking dog shit out of him, and for no reason just throws powder in his face, bootleg dead.
It's really good. For no reason, Hulk Hogan bleeds for literally no reason. There is literally
no reason. Well, because he's bleeding because he controls 90% of the match. Like, okay, I need to be put in some jeopardy, and it was a way for them. You're right, like, which is crazy that like Slaughter. Really goes into, they would say it was like always a really problematic thing to like convey Hogan being in danger because he was like fucking 6'6" and he's like bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
So that you kind of had to find these guys who were either way fatter or just like way bigger than him somehow. Also, no, this is the next match anyway. Sorry.
The other thing, just about when they always say that about Hogan, it's also the way Hogan works. Hogan never, like, it's partly he is injured. This is the thing that people forget is, like, we do know Hogan destroyed his back body slamming Andre and then just continued to wrestle for 5 years. So part of it is also, like, when he gets on his back, it's a fucking nightmare for him to get back up and stuff like that. So it's like he needs to be stood a lot, which is why he ends up like getting attacked by big fat guys in the corner so he can lean and prop himself up. Like, it's a fascinating thing to rewatch with that.
Oh, they're all like that though. They're all like everyone, and apparently that was like obviously it's the style of wrestler they had at this point, but it's also that these rings apparently were like just falling on the ground.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is like, well, the wrestlers can live longer. Oh, that's my worst nightmare. What? No. They have to die.
Punished.
They gotta go.
Anyway,
I hate them. They remind me of my dad.
Third match. 3-on-2.
Worst of the bunch.
No, it's really good. What's more intimidating? I really like this. Who would win in a fight, John?
The man with a perm. That's who would win in a fight.
Yeah. Two guys from the gym or literally the PTA.
Yeah. It's and who is in the middle? Stepdad, who's actually leaving because he doesn't like the kid. This match is fucking mental, and it's...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this match is the Triangle of Terror. General Adnan.
Triangle of Terror.
The Iron Sheik, baby. And Sergeant Slaughter versus Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. Ultimate Warrior literally in the minutes after this match is fired for holding Vince McMahon ransom for money. This is that match.
Good.
Right before this match, Hulk Hogan told Iron Sheik to break Ultimate Warrior's leg in the ring. Sergeant Slaughter had to then tell Iron Sheik not to do that. And and then Sid Justice for no reason is the special guest referee because they were slowly building towards the eventual Sid Justice Hulk Hogan WrestleMania main event at WrestleMania 8.
And then Sid wanted to be a heel, which he was like, all right. I love
I
Sid.
love Sid too.
I want to be a heel. I love anyone who goes into entertainment and people want them there because then you get to see someone who doesn't need to bend to anyone's will. And Sid is just like, I want to be a heel. Also, I'm taking most days off for softball because I like ding dongs more than I like you ding dongs. Up top? No? All right. That's 50 G's for me even talking to you.
Here's the thing.
I'll be fluffing my perm and looking in the mirror.
Here's the thing. I actually don't think that it's necessarily even that people wanted Sid Justice. It's that Sid Justice just is that perfect level of stupid that can get you really far in show business, where it's just
that's really good.
you're not aware of what you are doing, so you have no way of knowing you should be intimidated, leading to you really nailing this. You know what I'm saying?
Or Dean Malenko was there's some thing he's like, hey, I do a really good arm drag. He's like, joke me.
Yeah.
To see your dick jiggle.
You are aware, by the way, that people are going in on Dean Malenko now. They're now saying he was the worst road agent, which I'm just like, they're like, yeah, he was so self-conscious about how short he is. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
I mean, we've heard stories about how he just walk around with a coffee cup full of wine.
That's Arn Anderson. That is Arn Anderson. And let me say this right now. Now that I think about it, I think a lot of people walking around with these coffee cups got wine in there. You know what I mean?
That's great.
I mean, how true is it how many moms are getting tuned up at the park? Because the way that it's described...
Tuned up at the park? None. You gotta have your fucking... You gotta have your... It's a park in Toronto, you gotta have your eyes on your fucking... You gotta have your eyes on the ones and twos, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anything to go on...
They're locked and loaded with gossip about people you don't even know.
Oh,
they just start into a
I can't wait
like,
this.
Brenda's dressed like shit today, and you're like, I don't know who Brenda is, but I'm willing to learn.
I need to know.
Facebook profile.
This is something I am really looking forward to really getting deep on the neighborhood gossip. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna.
It's a whole new world. You see a mom with a Stanley tumbler, and you just fucking I want to bring 2 chairs and be like, who's that chair for? That's for you to tell me about how your husband's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
and then they're like, I've never felt so good.
This match is terrible. It is really weird.
It's really good.
Why do you love it?
I like the Ultimate Warrior, and here's the first thing, General Adnan. First thing I like, something that we need to bring back rake.
Oh, great point. Yeah, there's a lot of
just your first go-to. A man is completely prone. I'm gonna scratch his back hard like my wife likes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, they're literally doing an affectionate thing that women love.
Oh yeah. It's actually
women's wrestling must be just like them. I'm just putting her to sleep with this. First of all, there's a true crime podcast on. That's my first part of my finishing move. Second part, back scratch.
Yeah. Ultimate Warrior actually turned down a spot where General Adnan just sits down and talks about his day while the Ultimate Warrior listens diligently.
Oh my God, he's got chamomile.
Oh.
General Adnan's evil.
Yeah. Good God Almighty, he's drawn a bath for the Ultimate Warrior and he's considerately closing the door.
But this is like what Dave Meltzer was always talking about like how, these people are actually good. And not that the Iron Sheik and General Adnan at this point are specifically good wrestlers, but this really echoes like Bret Hart had back-to-back feuds against Bob Backlund and Jerry the King Lawler, which are both obviously really great wrestlers. But this is what happens when you're like, we're just going to take a guy who's good at the specifics of wrestling and put them against one of our WWF superheroes. It just looks fucking crazy. Like, why the fuck is the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, who are a clean, 20 years younger than these people, why the fuck are they scared or in jeopardy at all? And the Iron Sheik also, the last time we saw him on WWF TV was on steroids and could move, and now he's it's fat Kurt Angle. He's like fat TNA Kurt Angle. If TNA Kurt Angle got fat, where it's he has definition of arms, but they're also way thinner than they were.
And it's also that arm definition of that's not because you've been working out, it's that you used to work out and those muscles have just not yet reached the point of putrescence. And what's also crazy about Iron Sheik is they don't bring up it's the Iron Sheik. Like they're literally in the building.
That's one of the crazy. There's no mask.
They're,
They're just like
no, it's General Mustafa.
no, but they do at
Colonel
one point.
Mustafa. Pardon me. Go ahead.
Colonel Mustafa. Piper brings it up.
Well, Piper brings it up, and then
This is like 1983,
and he's immediately
people like shut the
no,
fuck
he
up.
gets interrupted in the middle. I remember this in '83, and then I think it's Gorilla dives on him and is literally like, "No, you don't. Though that's bad, and you're stupid."
No, no, that didn't happen. Okay, what is 1983 and what's gonna happen and what happened in 1939 have in common?
Ro-
Didn't happen.
Ronnie, if you make that mistake again, I'm giving your hotel room to Gene, and he's gonna fill your toilet with baby teeth.
Oh, I gambled on how many teeth Gene has. I lost immediately.
Yeah. You'd think that you shouldn't gamble with the whereabouts of your own family against a man who has a room in his house called the Blood Room, but I did, and now they're gone. What a maneuver on my part for getting more space in my house.
Here's what I like is
Go
that
ahead.
this kind of looks like there's an episode of Cheaters I watched where a guy tries to beat up a dude whose wife fucked him, but the guy is like, let's say he looks like Hulk Hogan, and the guy who is in the moral right looks like General Adnan. He's just shorter and fatter, and the other guy works out. And the guy who fucked the guy's wife just keeps on winning the fight, and it gets sad. And the guy's like, "Please stop this! You're embarrassing yourself." And then the guy with his butt out, goes like, "You might be good at fighting, but you're a bad person." And he walks away, and his butt is out. And that's what this reminds me of trying to be like General Adnan, this guy who literally is who mostly is mad about. He's not even mad at Ultimate Warrior anymore. He's just complaining about the traffic on the way here, and during rest holds is asking, not even doing new spots. He's asking where you're parked.
Well,
You get a good parking spot.
what's interesting about General Adnan is it's supposed to give them an advantage to have 3 wrestlers on their side versus 2 wrestlers on Hulk Hogan and Ultimate
Yeah,
Warrior
they didn't do
side.
that very much.
But it does seem like they're at a disadvantage. Just looking at them, you're like, well, I assume that they're in trouble because this third man is about to die, so it would be very easy to pin him. Like,
Oh, so is the risk at this that they may catch the disease these other 2 men
yeah,
have?
I understand why it's a match made in hell. Is this third man seems to be spreading some sort of typhoid-like problem, and these 2 muscle men want to avoid getting his typhoid-like disease.
Yeah, it does seem like Warrior and Hogan, if you add up the heights of Warrior and Hogan and then Mustafa, Adnan, and Slaughter, they would be the same. So it does seem like a tag match.
I mean, the other thing that's interesting is Sid Justice is wearing such high-waisted trousers and
I love it.
does not seem to know what a referee does in the match. Like, he keeps grabbing the wrestlers a couple of times. Like, he's just, like, it's fun. And his hair is awful. I want a mullet, and I want it permed, and I want it now, and I want bangs. Like, what are you doing?
He is dressed like he's dressed like he's the ref at a wet t-shirt contest.
Yeah, he looks like he's a referee for, like, he looks like he's been brought in to referee a creep off between the guy who did Girls Gone Wild and Jordan Belfort.
Well, it's just like, yeah, it's never a good thing when your referee is just wet.
Yeah, it's also never
Look how fucking wet.
it's also never a good idea when the referee is sleeveless. I gotta tell you,
Oh, that's always good. I love specific referee thing, like Shawn Michaels' big nut referee stuff. Right.
I mean, I still think the best guest referee shirt ever was the time when they tried to get Stone Cold to spray paint his own shirt with white spray paint, but they didn't test it before doing it live on Raw. So the shirt just absorbed the paint, and then they just looked at the camera and then moved on with the show. Best moment in history. Real professional thing. Highest rated cable show ever. Still so many times where they're just like, oh yeah, should have tried this off camera. Fuck me.
2 general notes about these. Both of the times Slaughter loses, he kicks out after the leg drop.
Yeah.
He kicks out after the leg drop. And the other thing is, that's an old territory thing. Yeah, you beat me, but I'm still kicking out at the leg. And then the third thing is how much better wrestling is now that you tap out, and like how transformative that is, because they're like, you just kind of like, no one even knew what to watch for if someone was going to give up.
It's something that I think would have transformed Bret Hart's championship run is if you had the tap out from the sharpshooter would have looked so much more crazy than just a guy.
Well, you can just do so much where it's like, oh, his hand's up here. Is he going to tap? Oh, his hand's down there. Is he going to tap? It's like, you can just do so much and it builds up so much tension. And you really see them exploit that in Michaels versus Angle. Like the entire match is just half the match Shawn Michaels is in an ankle lock, and it really just show how like if you put stakes on rest holds, they're not just rest holds, they're fun things.
I agree. I like to imagine Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels as drunk guy versus his sponsor, and the drunk guy's in the middle of a relapse.
Drunk guy versus the sponsor. All right, next week we're talking about Fandango.
Fandango, Dylan, you fuck.
Fandango. Here are the matches we're going to watch of Fandango. Should we do a Tyler Breeze? Should we do a Breezango match?
I think we should do a Breezango match. We're doing the WWF Fandango run. Obviously, the first match is, Dylan?
His debut, Fandango versus Jericho.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Then the match is the second night, his second match ever on Raw versus Kofi Kingston, when Brendan Burns, our friend, invented Fandango.
Of course, we're going to have to bring up that Brendan Burns when I say invented, I mean he was in a building where other people invented this.
No, he invented Fandango.
Listen,
this is my favorite thing, which you can really do.
What's better?
Which you could really is really good is if you're a wrestling fan long enough, then you get to have a friend that claims they invented weird things.
How many friends do we have? Because we have a friend that claims he invented the what chant, which still pisses me off. I'm still angry about it. And we have a friend that claims the Fandango dance.
Yes.
Do we have any more? I feel like there's a third one. Probably Brendan claims some other thing.
Brendan claims that he was the person who attacked Austin. He wasn't Rikishi.
Yeah, he was the third. He was the original third man for the NWO.
All right, we're gonna do, and this one's super easy. This is a 7-year-old match: Breezango versus the Ascension, a beat the clock match. If you just put Breezango versus the Ascension into YouTube, then it's the first match, April 25th, 2017. And the reason we're doing that match is because Breezango and the Ascension basically do YouTube sketches against each other for the rest of their run. And the Fashion Files is one of those shows where, like, if you were a WWE fan, like a big WWE fan during this time, and you watched everything, then you definitely remember the Fashion Files. And it's also very, very important, not for wrestling as a whole, but it's important for these men because they were dead characters, and this kept them making 6 figures a year for years and years.
Yeah, because the Fashion Files was just part of the WWE COVID time, and just it wasn't even for a storyline. They were just like, am I remembering this right? It's like, well, we got to kill 5 minutes. I remember
no, it was like WWE.com exclusives. Like there was like the Tim White trying to commit suicide one. The Fashion Files is like a while. I won't pretend to remember anything about it any of the time. It says 7 years ago, the Ascension versus. That's 2018. So yeah, that may be during COVID. I always forget how long ago COVID was. But yeah, maybe just before COVID.
Yeah.
Or during COVID.
Well, either way, ladies and gentlemen, Dylan and I will do a bit that no one has done before, which is we're going to do a version of Fandango's gimmick where we're going to constantly mispronounce Fandango's name, and it won't be annoying because we're going to be talking about Fandango.
Yeah, John's going to do the Fandango thing, but with slurs. Next week, see which slurs.
We're starting with my favorite place for slurs, Eastern Europe.
No, John's going into the big boys.
Yeah.
John's going to be reading Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, complete with slurs, next week. No episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, we started this podcast on Hitler's Resurrection Day, and that's where it's going to end as well. See you next week. My name is Dylan Gott.
I'm Dylan Gott.
Whoa.
There we go. We did it.
We did it. How fun.